Moving on to subplots. So subplot is a useful tool if you want to show information side by side on a figure. So this is a good example where a subplot would be more useful, where I'm plotting t versus t squared and t versus square root of t. And as you can see, the values for the square root of t are squeezed next to the x-axis, so you can't really see or get any useful information from this plot. So I'm gonna plot these two figures, these two lines, as two separate figures side by side. So in order to do so, you're gonna use the subplot command, and the subplot command has this type of format. So you write subplot, comma, you're gonna write the rows, number of rows, number of columns you need in the subplot, and then the plot location, right? So let's say I want to write subplot. I want to create a subplot with 2 rows, 1 column, and I want to include my first plot in the first position. So I'm going to write subplot 2, 1, 1. And as you can see here, it created subplot with 2 rows. So this is the first row, the second row will be under it, 1 column, so it spreads across the figure, and position number 1 is this position. And in this subplot, I'm gonna plot t, comma r. So I'm just plotting t versus t squared, and it's gonna show up. And again, in the subplot, while you have the attention of the subplot, if you may, you could include all your cosmetic information. So I'm gonna write the title, just copy them from my previous run. Title, X label, Y label, and as you can see here, I have all of this information. Once you're done with the subplot, you then move your attention to the second subplot. So again, to do this, you write your subplot command, subplot. Again, it's 2 rows, 1 column, but now I'm looking at position number 2. So once I write subplot 2, 1, 2, it's going to create the second subplot here in the second position. And now I have the attention of this location. I'm going to drop this plot in it. So I'm going to plot t, comma m, and you should see this plot. And now you can see that, the pieces of information, it's easier to read now because it's not squeezed, and you can better show your information. And again, you could also um, write it as O's if you want. So now you can write as O's. You could, for example, change the color. Let's see, how do you change the color here? Oops. Yeah. So if you just put this dash and then the color R is red, alternatively you could do it this way. So I'm gonna say B. Okay. Let's say O dash B. And now you have a blue line or blue um, circles for your plot. So you have many things to manipulate with your plots, the cosmetics of the plot, and you should always try to make your plots look as good as possible. And similarly to the previous subplot, once you have its attention, now I can put the title. So I'm gonna write temperature, give a title to the second subplot. Temperature versus square root of temperature. Let's just make sure it's okay. Here we go. And then I can add an X label. Similarly, I'm gonna call it temperature, and a Y label. I'm gonna call it radical temperature, right? There you go. So now you have the subplot. You can create a subplot of 4 graphs next to each other. You can create them vertically next to each other. You can manipulate your figures whichever way you want. And it's important to use these tools because as engineers, you always want to present your information in the easiest way and the best way possible for you.